Welcome to week 1 of the NFL preseason, where the rookies of today hope to become the stars of tomorrow. It's the Raiders and the Hawks, and it's all up next on EA Sports.
Renamed in late 2020, there's a look at Lumen Field here in Seattle, Washington. Tonight, it's a preseason matchup between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Seattle Seahawks. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and we finally made it, partner, through the winter, through the spring, now into the summer, and football finally back.
And during that time off, we all cherish our vacation time. But admit it, you're the same as me. When you were working out, when you were doing things, you thought about football, didn't you? And you couldn't wait to be back up here again.
The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. The Raiders set to go to work behind their veteran quarterback, and that's Derek Carr.
And it certainly had taken Herbert long to earn his status as one of the league's best and most entertaining passers. Locked and loaded at every snap. And the second he sees an opening, that ball is soaring downfield. You better be on your toes against him on defense. The second you turn your head, they'll burn you.
Carr right away going to look to throw. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. A big pickup of 38. I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he could run on the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
Shotgun now for Carr. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feed down complete. First carry for Josh Jacobs. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up. Now Carr. It's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's fourth down. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And the Raiders jump out to a 3-0 advantage. So it'll remain to be seen how many drives this unit gets in, this being the preseason. But here they start with 3 points.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll actually see them anymore. They got 3 points on the board, 1 drive here in preseason. In this game, baseball caps, NFL approved, of course, for everyone.
So here come the Seahawks now for their first drive. And they're led out by their mobile quarterback out of West Virginia. It's Geno Smith.
I still remember back in 2013 when he was drafted out of West Virginia. He was coming off of back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons for the Mountaineers. Hadn't seen as much game time in recent years, but at one point, a capable starter in the NFL.
They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Smith. It's caught. Lockett. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. Walker now on 1st and 10. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. Tough spot looking at 2nd and 16 here after the big loss. Smith. Oh, and that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Well, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. No return, but it goes down as just a punt of 31 yards. And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
Throwing his car on 3rd down. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawks defense.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense. So he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. This will be fielded at the 17. A nice job getting free on the return for 13 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their 2nd drive.
Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Here's Walker to start the drive. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. Boy, you hate to see this before the regular season even begins. We'll take a break and come back. More preseason action in a moment.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down.
Throwing on 3rd down, Smith.
He's got his tight end. It's Albert Okwuebu now.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That's a 3rd down conversion of 24 yards there. Nice play.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a 1st down.
This one into the hands of Metcalf.
And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Now Geno on 1st down. This complete to Lockett.
And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
Now a play fake, and it's Smith. And this one is incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. They'll try for the first with Walker. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Back to Walker on 1st down. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. On 2nd down, it's Walker. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Only gets a yard, but it's enough to set up 1st and goal. They'll try the air now with Smith. This will be caught at about the 5. Now we get a stoppage because a member of the Raiders shaken up on that one. Well, injury's never good, especially here in the preseason. Hopefully nothing serious. They'll take a look at him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Caught left side. It's Beckham. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. They call it a loss of a yard there. And that will lead to a 3rd and goal. Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
So the long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. This set of downs started. They need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Here's Carr. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Adams. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, every now and then I can speak from experience, because I do know as a defender, it is awfully hard to stay with your man on these crossing routes, because even if you don't get picked, there's a danger of being picked, either by one of their receivers or maybe by your own defender. And on that play, that worked quite well.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he's taken down at the 50 after a short gain of 2.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the plays we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 35. 3-3, a tight one after 1 on EA Sports. The Raiders with the football here to begin quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. First down, here's White. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line.
Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down.
Just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously. Led to a very quick sack.
And this came from the edge, and those pass rushers, they have so many tricks of the trade to get around blockers. They have a lot of tools in their kit. This was pure speed and athleticism on this play, though. And they could barely get a glove on it before he got the quarterback on the ground.
And the next-gen stat's going to show that sack carried out in just 2.5 seconds from beginning to end.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. They're going to look to throw. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
But he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way. So he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it. Just move on to the next play.
Steps away, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
Here's A.J. Cole now to punt this one away. Oh, it's a wobbler here. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw.
He'll drop this underneath for Jones.
And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. Well, we just saw shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play, one-on-one matchup of someone trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those, too.
Now a first down carry by Jones. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Nice pickup, 10 yards and a first down on the keeper.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
He'll decide to keep this once more.
And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
The throw over the middle taken in.
He kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. He rifles one that's intercepted.
Picked off by Nate Hobbs. And the Raiders are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. They start to drive with White, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
He came through well with a nice pass breakup there. Fortunate that he was on the spot. He's the only guy left to prevent the first down.
Out of the gun now on third down. And that is incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to get him the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
2nd and 15. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. The Raiders call on a nickel set here for third down. They'll drop to throw. Under pressure, and they got to him again. And the defense coming through on third down. A loss of 7 to bring up fourth. Now here's Michael Dixon as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Oh, he shifts past him. It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
They stay on the ground with White. And only a couple there as he'll take this up to the 47. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Now whistles here, and I believe one of the Raider linemen might have been moving. Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long. Looking to throw. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Seahawks again now ready to take over on offense. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. Here's Michael Dixon now to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Now Callaway on the return. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Raiders offense coming back out onto the field.
And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he goes out right around the 39. A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's 3rd down.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
They'll look to throw here. And that will be incomplete.
Whether that's a little grabbing, a little hand fighting, by any means necessary on 3rd down, he was able to get the job done in the secondary and swat that one away.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Seahawks going to take over now late in this first half. And they've got just under 50 seconds, so time enough to try to work their way downfield if they so choose. Got his man. It's Bo Melton.
They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. 2nd and 4. Can't get away, and he's taken down. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon.
Oh, the return is Callaway. A very good kick there, but 15 yards on the return.
And control of the football, switching hands with very little time remaining until the half.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together.
Looking deep for Adams. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Thus far, they have been able to move the line of scrimmage very well in the running game. Almost felt like they said in the huddle, can you guys pass protect? Let's take a big shot downfield. Didn't get it on that one, but they may come back to it again.
And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. So we have reached halftime in our first preseason matchup of the year. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. Back to you guys in just a minute as we've started the countdown to opening night. Remember, the preseason has shrunk from 4 games down to 3. So just 2 more weeks of preseason action follow this, and then we get it all started on the first Thursday after Labor Day. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, they too have found passing lanes to be hard to come by so far. As you see by the numbers, they'll need to figure that out in the second half. Most of the starters are likely done. These coaching staffs getting ready for the youngsters in the second half.
Probably not likely to see many starters in the second half as we get back at it underway in this preseason opener.
And the half will begin with a touchback. The Seahawk offense set to go to begin this 3rd quarter. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic. No need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. He sets up the screen to Jones. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play, because if you get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
11 yards yards there and a first down for Seattle. Got exactly what they wanted there out of the RPO and had the defense out of position.
One word for you there, excellent, because he read all the keys properly, made the right decision, and look at the result. Pretty substantial gain.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Now back to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. A nice run there. He calls his own number, gets the first down, and then slides to a stop before he has to take any contact.
And that absolutely has to please this coaching staff, because you know they've been drilling into his head. You're no good to us on the sidelines if you're not playing, right? If you have to be over here full-time with us, that doesn't work so well. We need you on the field, so sliding like that, they'll take that every time.
Second down, another shot for Jones. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. On play action, they'll throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. It'll be a loss of 5 there as the safety blitz winds up paying off. So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely, because remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
And if you're They begin the drive on the ground. It's White. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming. Lead on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork near. On 3rd. Here, complete to the tight end. Here's A.J. Cole now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. Fielded just inside the 20. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
All start.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Back to throw. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. And that is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. Returnable here for Callaway. They'll score that a 36-yard punt.
And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawks defense. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number, it's just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Now a give up the middle. This is White. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, you hate to see this before the regular season even begins. We'll take a break and come back. More preseason action in a moment.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. That's leaking to the right, and he missed it by a foot or 2. It's no good, and we will remain tied here in this 3rd quarter.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive.
And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis.
2nd and 14.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On the move to his left.
And they'll work this down inside the 30.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more preseason football on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's been a tight, low-scoring affair thus far. 3-3 is our score heading into the 4th. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
They go play action here on first down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. They'll set up to throw.
He's able to find Melton.
And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to about the 19. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. The kick by Elliott is good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. We still wait on the first touchdown of the game, but a second field goal now makes it a 6-3 score.
Yeah, I know a lot of people would call this the definition of winning ugly. To me, this is gorgeous. I'm a defender, right? I love these kind of games. The tension is high. Who's going to make the play to win it? And right now, that field goal may be the advantage they need.
Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this 4th quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Back to throw here.
On the out route, this is Adams with a catch.
The Raiders on 3rd down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This is 3rd and 10. He's got a man, complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Give him 30 yards there.
That could very well be a defining play in this game. A touchdown, that gives them a lead, and they took a major step towards getting there with that big play right there.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. That's a jet sweep. This is Adams. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on 3rd down. He'll look to throw. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, we will get another look at Seattle's offense. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
The left side completion to Jones. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. 2nd and 1.
This pass complete to Melton.
7 yards there on 1st down. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Pretty good first down play. Keeps them ahead of schedule, as they say.
And ostensibly, they could go right back to it because there are multiple options on this play. Hand it inside, quarterback tucks it and keeps it, quarterback throws the ball downfield. You should be able to react to the defense and have an option available on every snap.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And the Raiders have got him. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
And now they're looking for 19 yards here on 3rd down following 2 negative plays. He'll drop to throw. Flushed out right. And a throw right sideline is complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. The defense shaking their heads, not aggressive enough, and they allow him to convert a 3rd and 18.
There's certainly a lot of quality receivers on this team, so he's no lock to make this squad. But the way he's got to do it, make every routine catch that comes his way, and mix in some of the big-time ones like the one we just saw there.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. So the false start will back them up 5.
False start.
Moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They'll drop to throw. He'll drop this underneath for Jones. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Buying time to his left. And that's knocked away and incomplete. So a big kick coming now for Jake Elliott. This to swell the lead to 6. The kick by Elliott is good. And they continue to lead in the battle of field goals here. It's now 9-3. So they get to 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. So out come the Raiders. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry. Second down and inches. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. Third down. On third and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And incomplete on the deep ball. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback.
Yeah, boy, that's going to be close. He didn't get much at all there, but he got the first. Looked like they might have held him defensively, but the referee signals it will be a first down. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game.
So it's Raider football as we get you reset. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll set up a throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete.
Now remember now, no overtime in the preseason. Though a touchdown and an extra point on this drive could make that conversation.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Complete to Bryant.
Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. They'll run for it. This is White. And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed he did not. They stop him. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position. An inside give to Jones. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Now the defense will burn their third and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And they'll indeed take a knee. The Seahawks in victory formation as they go ahead and take the knee.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it.
So the victory here for Seattle. Well, on one side of this, Charles, an impressive victory. On the other, I mean, you think about it, they scored in the first quarter, but then they didn't score in quarters 2, 3, or 4. They're going to have a lot of work to do before stepping back on the field.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting tape to analyze, won't it? Because why did it work in the first quarter, but nothing in quarters 2, 3, and 4? So we always talk about adjustments. You don't just wait till halftime. We do it series to series. They'll be working on that in preparation for their next game.